All right.
You already started?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Everything is fine. No worries. Thank you. All right. So let's start on the splitting of the scale with separate hands one more time. Under on the cheek. 420. 420. Very good. That's not bad, but let's try it again to go backwards so that we have it correctly the first time. So try to focus on the pattern of the fourth key or the fourth finger goes on D and then you go under. Okay. And the third finger and then under. Good job, much better. So try to focus on that pattern when we try it, maybe with both hands a little bit later. So go ahead and try the right hand, please. Good job. So let's try both hands together. How would you feel about that?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, okay. It's okay. Let's try a little bit slower. Under. Under. Try not to rush. Under. Third finger on the right. Third on the right. Fourth here. Fourth. So let's try it again. Going backwards, just a little bit slower. Third. And fourth, fourth on the right. Under. Third, third on the right. Middle finger on the right. Fourth on here. Fourth. Together. Fourth on the right. go up, sweetheart, try not to stop. So it's not going to be, let's pretend that this is the last octave that we're playing with both hands. Once you're up here, continue to go backwards, right? Do not stop and make it sound like this. Okay? It's okay for what you did right now because it was the first time. And for practice purposes, you can section it off where you play going up 4 octaves with both hands 5 times, non-stop, and then going down, right, or going backwards. Another word for those terms are ascending, where it says going up. Ascending is the right musical term, and descending. There we go. So for practices, then we can definitely do that. We can definitely stop. But to play the scale in one piece at one time, we don't have to stop. Okay? How do you feel about it? A little bit challenging, or just because it was the first time you got a little nervous?
A little bit challenging.
A little bit challenging, but I feel that it's enough challenging to help you want to get back to it, right? To make it better. Okay? If it gets too hard, let me know because we can always slow down. By now you know 4 scales already, right? Can you repeat what scales you know already?
C, G, F, D.
Very good. Can we try the G scale, please? I know that we warmed up a little bit earlier. Good job. Can you tell me what's different about the G scale with words?
It has 1 black key, and
Where is it? Or what note is it?
it's on G.
No, where is the black key?
Oh, the black key is on
No, what's right before G?
F.
Very good. So go ahead and try to play it one more time so you can realize yourself where it is. You played the right thing, you just said the wrong one. For a quick second. See, F, right? And do you remember from last time, what is that called? What the F black key is called? Is it? It's a sharp. That's okay. That's all right. Just for your knowledge, you don't have to worry about it. We can always make it better. But sharps raise the note, right?
Sharps are like this side.
No, sharps are on the right side, and that's a good guess. However, sharps are to the right. So if this is regular or natural, F natural, the sharp will raise the note. So of course it'll go to the right. It will be this one, right? So we don't skip too many. Just, right, we only go 1 higher, okay? Hi, sweetheart, thank you for joining us. All right, so, do you know another scale? Can you remember another scale?
I only know those.
What's the next one? What's the F scale about? What is different about the F scale?
You like you hit when you're coming back, you put your 4th finger on.
Well, why don't we play it so you can recognize it then?
Okay.
You want to try with both hands, but be very careful and possibly slower so you can remember. What is that note that you played right now?
B flat.
What is it?
B flat.
Very good job. So without continuing the scale, let's talk about the flats, right? The sharps raise the notes, right? So
Flats go down like this.
Lower. Very good. So then B natural is the white key, and since it lowers it, it's going to go backwards, right? Good. Very good. Go ahead and try to play it now. But this is a good warm-up, right? Usually we only play them once or twice, and today, because it was a little bit of a setup for me, thanks to your dad, he helped me with it, we tried it a little bit more. But usually the scales, unless we have a competition, are just there for a warm-up. So 2 to 3 times a day is pretty much enough to play the scales. And based on your level so far, I think that's really good for you to just practice a little bit on the scales. Try not to focus too much unless there's a problem with it, right?
I also found out in that scale, like one like hand goes in here, one is on the top.
Very good. That's a very good point because the F, or the fourth finger that ends the F with is very different than the rest of the scales. Usually the rest of the scales end with the pinky.
Thumb roll at the pinky.
Exactly. Very good job. That's a very good job on the details. So let's try your pieces at least one time each piece. What's the next piece that you're going to play, please?
10 Little Indians.
Very good. Now before you start, I'm sorry. Sweetheart, I'm going to ask you to pay very close attention to the pieces, and I know that you don't know many of them to how to play them. However, based on our little sessions together, our little lessons, try to see how your brother plays, and let me know if there's a way that he's doing it right or wrong. But only let me know after he's done, okay? All right, thank you. Very well, and even though it's been a while since you started this piece and that we haven't really...
Well, I actually practice it every time I practice.
Beautiful job. That's excellent. And I was just going to mention that even though we don't play it on the lessons all the time, I am so proud of you for actually practicing it because you maintain whatever you learn. So that's really good. Very good job. Any comments, questions for the piece?
No.
No?
But I have comments.
Sure.
He's doing very good.
Wonderful. Thank you. Why do you think he's doing very well?
Because this is an old piece. I thought he would remember it. So, and I never thought he'd practice it. So.
Okay. Well, thank you. Maybe that's something for you to look up to, right? Beautiful. Excellent job. Although you do your own best as well. So very good job. Thank you, sweethearts. Okay, so next please. What's the next piece?
Old McDonald.
Great. All right, let's have some fun. That's okay. Very good job. Now the first time, I'm pretty sure you got a little nervous because we've never really had the lessons recorded, right? One, and two, I feel that this is a good introduction to you playing a little bit under pressure right before the recital, right? Our recital is going to be around October, and it will be videotaped just like this one, but this way it kind of gives you a different kind of perspective in how it will be at the recital, right? There's a lot of little eyes watching you, and nothing to worry about though. I don't want you to feel pressure. I just, this is a good exercise for it.
Okay.
All right, now I will start with Kailash first to ask him some questions, and then you can go next, sweetheart, okay? So you can tell us what you think about the piece. Okay, so what do you think happened besides the beginning that we figured out it was just a little nerves? What about the rest of it? I noticed a couple of things that were a little different, so let me know about it.
So I was playing that G, and then I act like my brain was like, I have to play it again, and then I'm playing it again, then I'm realizing I have to do both hands.
Okay, and that's all right, and that's just a little memorization, right? The way that we can fix that is by maybe trying to play with the music sheet. Although I think again that was just a little hiccup, meaning that it only happens once in a blue moon. I've never, throughout our previous lessons, I don't think that you've ever actually mistaken playing Old MacDonald. So anyway, and that's exactly what I'm going to write for your homework. Old MacDonald, try it, go back to basics and try it with the music sheet at least 2 times a day.
Okay.
All right, good deal. Any comments? Anything?
I have a comment. Right?
Yes.
He's doing really well. Every time he plays the McDonald, I always keep it on track by my voice.
Oh, that's really good. So you actually sing it. Do you sing the notes or do you sing the actual
So
song?
I was like humming it.
You're humming it. That's wonderful. And I noticed that you're very good. I'm sorry. I noticed, Kailash, that you're very good at ear training as well. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. Thank you. That way it enforces what you're good at, which is ear training. So when we hear the sound, right, we get used to that particular sound. And if we press a wrong key, because things happen, then we remind ourselves, wait a minute, just like you said, wait a minute, that's not what I remember it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
So the more that we practice with either your sister's help or with the music sheet, beautiful, the better it will become. Although those little glitches or hiccups, they were just that. I wouldn't recommend you to stress over them, just to make them better, basically. Okay, next please.
All the little pretty horses.
All right. Wow, that was for high five over here. Double high five. Yay, good job. And I know that this is a newer piece, which means that we haven't had it memorized for a longer period of time, right? And you're still doing very, very well. So I think this is perfect. The way that we can maintain it is just by practicing it. Even though you have it memorized and it's 100%, I still recommend that you practice with
Music sheet.
at
Or my
least one
voice.
time, or your voice, or your sister's voice, at least one time a day, right? Very good job. Comments from a peanut gallery?
He's doing good. I just, when he's practicing, I keep my voice down so he memorizes it quickly.
Good, excellent job, so that you're not a distraction. Very good. Now, speaking of ear training, I also wanted to introduce you to a new idea. Ear training, it's not just in solfege, but also Suzuki, Dr. Suzuki, he actually specializes in ear training, right? So basically what we're using here for the next piece, which is the sonatina for a little bit, is just that ear training that I sang it for you once and I also played it for you. And then you were able to recognize either the pattern of the noises, of the sounds, or the pattern of my fingers. Either one is perfectly fine. So let's see what you remember from last time.
So I never know, you didn't tell me the whole thing.
Exactly. Exactly. Only the part that you remember, even from those little measures that I actually advised you. Yep. Beautiful job. That was just incredible. That was really, really good, and I'm very proud of you. And you know what else? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. You have something?
No.
Oh, I really appreciate your sister's help too. That's because I think she just remembers what I taught you and what you played because she was singing right before you were playing. So she really, really paid attention to what we were doing before. So another point for her is that she too is very good with ear training. So I want to give you maybe an A plus or lots of stars. I should have brought my stickers, which I always forget. But this was a very good lesson, very, very good. I'm very proud of you. I will leave, of course I'll write it down again, but most of the practice I'll leave it exactly as it is because I know we had a little break last week since I was out of town. So just remember to focus a little bit on Old MacDonald, which is not a concern, it's just to make it better. And also the scale, C scale, with the 4 octaves, both hands. Okay? All right, do you have any questions or concerns? No? Yeah, well, you're all set for your own lesson, but you're welcome to switch seats with your sister. Yes, please. Oh, okay, go ahead. That's okay.
Sonatina is good. I just, when he's playing, my voice was down because when he was playing after I sang, it was actually all correct.
There you go, exactly. You're right. You are right. And that helps tremendously too, though. That definitely helps. So, thank you, thank you. All right, sweetheart. I know I'm probably doing the wrong thing here, but I'm going to ask you a bunch of times. Today being maybe the 5th time. How do you pronounce your name?
Sahasra.
Sahasra. Okay, thank you. I'm embarrassed. Every time, I'm like, I'd rather just ask her instead of butcher it. Okay, Sahasra, let's try to warm up with our scales, please. You don't worry about the little videotape. You're doing fine. You look super cute. You both do. That's all right. So only try going backwards. I really, really like the fact that you are singing it. So now let's try the same thing going backwards, but also focus on the right fingers, right? Okay. A little bit slower, maybe. That's okay. One more time. Third on my right. Yes. That's not bad. You fixed it and you realize what happened. So let's try to focus on the pattern. And also let's try to not worry about anything else. That's just a little recording. No. Go ahead. Let's try going backwards one more time, please. Good job. So now let's try going forward and backwards. Thank you. Okay. There you go. So even for the warm-up, we have a warm-up, right? So it's okay. Just when you do practice, please, just like I've mentioned on the other at the other weeks, right, on your homework, please focus on the things that kind of give you some trouble, right? Which is going backwards with both hands for the C skill. So try that part to section it off and play and start practicing with that. So your practice this time will start with going backwards for the C scale a little bit slower, at least 2 times, and then 1 time going forward and backwards. Now, I do want to mention one little term for going forward, and that's, or going up, that's ascending. These are musical terms that we will definitely learn by the end of our, I don't know, maybe 5th month or so. Right now, just try to remember the term. Ascending is going up, descending is going down. Okay, very good. Next scale, please. I think we have one more scale.
G2.
Excellent. Go ahead. So what's different about the G scale, please? Do you remember which words? You can play it first. You can play it first. That way you can remind yourself one more time. Good job. Great. Very good. Perfect. Very nice. Very, very good job. Oh, thank you. Very good job in regards to the notes, right? So what was different about the G scale? Did you remember?
That you that that you since because the C scale you don't go on one of these, but on the G scale you go one on these, and that's different.
Very good. And what is that note called?
That's an F flat.
That's not bad, but the correct term is F sharp. Very good.
Right hand
So,
sharp, but left hand it's flat.
no, left hand is not flat.
Oh yeah, backwards flat.
No, that's okay. That's all right. That's okay, sweetheart. So for the G scale, it's always going to be an F sharp. And the way that you can remember or remind yourself, and that's okay, but this is very new to us, and it's so many different scales, so it's okay. But just so that you remember a little bit better, the sharp makes the note, or rises the note, right? It rises the tone, so you raise it. You raise it. So from F natural, you raise it to F sharp. So maybe that's a good way to remember it, right? You raise it, so you make it sharper, right? It's like sharpening a pencil, right?
Or making a knife sharper.
Or making the knife sharper, right? So you raise the ability of the knife to perform, right? And for the scale, you raise the note, okay? So it's very similar, but I do want to ask you to play it one more time, one more time on G, but you have to focus a little bit on the right hand, so try not to start yet, please. I'm going to come around, Kailash, so if you don't mind. No, you're fine there. I think I'm going to block you for the recording, just a little bit, because I want to focus. You sit properly, please. Go ahead. Play very slow. I want to focus on your hand. Your hand, when reaching the F sharp, should not go any higher. So this is the way that it should be, right here. See how the wrist is straight and the elbow is straight as well? So when you go under, your little elbow is the only one that's going to go to the right just a little bit. No, you can move your elbow, sweetheart. Go ahead. Not your shoulder. Your elbow. This is your elbow. Move your elbow to the right. Not up, to the right. Relax. Relax your arms, sweetheart. So make it very, you know what? Can I have this for one quick second? It's just as an example. So, from here, this little thing is going to go all the way to here. Can you reach this? Can you reach this with your hand? Move your hand. No, try to reach this. Try to touch this. But naturally, sweetheart, how would you touch it from your hand being here to here? How would you move your hand? Go ahead and touch this. There you go. No, don't worry. What I want to show you, no, sweetheart, go. Okay. What I wanted to show you, sweetheart, is go ahead and can you hold it for me? Hold it right here, please. Good. What I wanted to show you is, you're relaxed, you're a little nervous right now, you're okay. So, as I had my hand right here, see, look at my elbow and look at my wrist as well. Thank you, Kailash. Right? Your wrist and elbow is perfectly fine. Now, naturally, normally, and you don't have to worry about the keys if you don't press them or not, you're going to try to reach this little twig right here. See how your hand so naturally went like this, and your elbow moved as well? That's all I was trying to show you. Just like you do it naturally for this. Exactly, look where your elbow went. Right? But it went to the right. It didn't go up, right? And that's what happens when you reach the notes from one side to the other. Deal? Great. Do you understand it? Do you have any questions?
I understand it.
Are you sure? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so go ahead. I'm still going to stay here in case you need my help. Good. And move it a little bit, just a little bit. Good job. Move it a little bit more. Good, F sharp. Perfect. That's it. Move it backwards now a little bit. Good. Relax your hand. Good. Beautiful. Good. Now don't worry about the left hand. Only focus on my right hand. So your elbow did the right thing. That was perfect. No chicken dance. No, 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 no. And no other funny business, right? However, the hand and the wrist were up a little bit more than they should have been, okay? So focus on my hand. Only the hand and the wrist. And if you want to, you can touch my wrist a little bit just to notice, yep. If it goes up or down, and let me know. Okay, can you tell me if the wrist went up or down?
When you were playing the keys, it kind of went a little bit up like that.
The wrist or the elbow now?
The wrist.
Did it go up like this?
Not like this.
Okay. So let's try to make that correct. So you're going to put your hand on my hand, please. Okay. Very good. And you're going to play under, please. Good. Good. So you try to keep the wrist down at all times. So try it one more time without the left hand. So wrist is right here. No, no, hold on 1 second. Wrist is right here. Good. Keep your wrist down. Go ahead and pray. Good job. Good. Great. Good job. Did I hurt you at all?
No.
Okay, so I put a little bit of pressure on your wrist so that you can realize what way we can practice so that the wrist stays down. You can do this on your own where you place separate hands, only the right hand and the left hand pressures the wrist to stay down, right? Now when I say down, it's just on an angle, not necessarily down like this, right? Not resting, okay? All right, go ahead and let's try your pieces. Don't worry about the next scale. We just want to focus on our
Really good at
pieces.
the F scale.
You're really good at the F scale? Okay then, let's play the F scale. Now remember what the F scale has, okay? All right.
Wait, this is it.
No, no, that was correct. Uh-oh, no, no, no. All right, let's try it one more time. You're okay, sweetheart. That's why we have the lessons, and that's why we have practice, so you're okay.
Stick it to it. But you don't touch me both hands.
Then separate hands, please. Don't fit. Not bad at all. That was really, really good. And another thing, just like I told your brother, for one more week we're going to keep it just as it is, just because we had that little break last week from me being out of town. So, go ahead with the right hand, please. That was really good.
Oh, yeah.
Under. job. Now let's try it. One finger goes there. Okay. It's actually the fourth finger. You don't worry about it right now though, because what we need to worry about, I'm sorry, that was not bad, but what we need to worry about a little bit is when you go up, chicken dance. So notice your elbow. Now when you go down, your wrist goes up a little bit. So that's okay. No, you don't want that, right? You go ahead and let's try it one time, please. Right here. Be flat.
Oh, yeah.
Under, please. Leave your elbow out as it is. Do not put it in. Okay, let's try it one more time because that's the chicken dance that I was speaking of, okay? Once the elbow goes out, it stays out. Good. Under, please. Good. Leave it right there. Good. No, don't go in. Good. So what does your elbow do? It goes to the right and then it stays right there. It doesn't go in. You may go out a little bit more. The opposite happens for this side now. No, thumb, sweetheart. Over with the fourth finger. Good. Now let's try that again because what happened is that you put your elbow out too much and your shoulder needs to relax as well, okay? Right, no silly time, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Fourth finger. Start it right here. Good. Fourth finger. No, fourth finger. You go inside, not outside. Third finger. Okay, sweetheart. Right. So focus a little bit more. No silly time, okay? Just focus on the lesson, sweetheart. Right here. So when you go up, the elbow, look at the elbow, please. From the left side, it goes gradually to the right, and it stays to the right. It does not go back.